this opportunity means to you and the guys?
Yeah, I think it's, you said the key word is a great opportunity for our players. Be a great venue against a really good team. Our guys know the challenge in front of them. And I think, we'll get great effort, great focus all week, getting the chance to play Louisville, who I think is, I said the other day, I think they're probably the best team in the ACC, at least one of the best teams. And I think they played for the championship last year, and Coach Braun and his staff do a great job. So it's, all right, I think our guys will be excited for the challenge.
Share your overall impressions on the Cardinals.
Very athletic. They got experienced quarterback. He's been around a little bit. I got a lot of respect for him, and he's been a proven guy. And they got really good skilled players. The first game they got up so big so early, it was kind of hard to judge, and they probably just for the most of the second half didn't show a whole lot because they didn't have to. So it'll be very, very talented team, plays hard, and like I said, they've got good players across the board. But we do too. We've got good players, and it'll be a fun game.
Questions for Coach?
Is it tough to get a good scout on them or a good report for the fact they didn't have to play everybody much?
Yeah, a little bit. You can obviously look at last year's games as well, and I'm sure they're doing the same. It's hard to get a lot off of just one game anyway, but you see a little bit of their personnel, some of their new personnel. They got some guys out of the portal, including their quarterback. And their scheme-wise, I think they're probably pretty similar scheme-wise what they did last year on both sides of the ball. But Coach Braun has a few wrinkles too. Obviously, played against them before, and they always have a few new things that you got to try to be ready for.
Is he a dual threat quarterback?
Tyler,
Yeah.
No, he can run, but they'll throw the ball. They're not a quarterback run kind of oriented offense. It's a more pro style, I guess you would say. Throw the ball around a little bit. They got enough skilled players that they can run it if they want with a quarterback. But he's an impressive guy, and I think he's been in, I don't know how many years he's been in, but he's a sharp guy. I mean, you can tell he's learned the system, and the first game, of course, it was over pretty quickly. But this guy's been in a lot of big games before.
What did film show from the Coastal game?
We didn't pretty much what I thought. We didn't play well, and it wasn't like everybody on every play. It seemed like there was just one guy on just about every play on both sides of the ball that maybe messed up. So I didn't see anything that we couldn't fix, but I also saw things that we had to fix, and that was part of we had an extra 2 days, I guess, afterwards to try to fix from what we did wrong in the first game, and then try to get ready for the next game.
How fast do you move on from that game? I mean, I've been on teams in the past where we didn't even watch the film at all, and then teams where we harped on every single play. What's the balance like?
Yeah, that's a good point. Normally, it's just the 24-hour rule. Whether you win or lose, you can take 24 hours to really evaluate what you did well, what you didn't do well, and we probably took a little more than 24 hours just because we had the extra day. But beyond that, you got to move on. If you linger whether it's good or bad, you linger too long, it's going to affect in the next game. So I think our guys done a good job of that. After a couple of days, we got back to work, had a little walkthrough Saturday. I thought we had a pretty good practice for a Sunday practice. We had a pretty good practice on Sunday, and today and tomorrow, I'll see if their focus and attention is. But I would be shocked if our guys aren't ready to play another game. Just the sooner you play another game, the better you get the last one out of your mind, so to speak.
What are the things you feel like you've got to fix?
Well, there's a lot of stuff. There was some mental, some physical. So it was a little combination of everything. Coaching wise, we've got to fix some things we're doing. And like I said, defensively, sometimes we had a busted coverage or got in the wrong gap, or offensively, we may not have been perfect in our technique or some of the things we need to do. So, I don't want to say that's typical first game stuff, because we shouldn't have had that in any game. But at the same time, we've got to get better, and we have to be better. And I know we can play better than what we did in the first game.
What is each
How does
other
the quarterback picture stand right now?
Yeah, I still got, in my opinion, two starting quarterbacks in Logan and Tyler. Not sure who's the first one's gonna be out there just yet, but, and then Zion is, I think, is ready to go. And we also have Caden Creel and Tayshawn Smoot. So we have some depth at quarterback. And, you know, that wasn't a good game for us, the first game from anybody. But we can play better. I got a lot of confidence in those guys, all of our quarterbacks, that they can play some really good football.
Louisville's defensive line has 3 or 4 legit NFL prospects up front. Is that something that kind of shrinks the play sheet when you're game planning, expands it because you have to get more creative? How do you go about?
Well, yeah, you run a risk if you're thinking, geez, we're not gonna be able to do this, and then you kind of add a whole bunch of stuff, and you wind up confusing your guys and what we're good at doing. We get away from because, you know, we're afraid we can't do it against them, and so you wind up making the thing worse because you're practicing new plays. We gotta get better at what we do well, and I think our guys know that. Now, this is gonna be, you know, you make a little mistake against teams that's talented, it'll show up even more. So, you know, we'll do what we do. You know, we'll maybe try to add a few things here and there and be aware that, hey, these guys are gonna be hard to block or block for very long, but at the same time, we gotta run our stuff.
What was your opinion about being able to use the iPad?
I think it was okay. I thought it was pretty beneficial. I mean, we got to know right away some of the things that were happening. I think it helps. I mean, the coaches in the box traditionally usually can see that anyway, if you got experienced coaches and they can see that. But the iPads, I think, allowed us to, it was probably made it more frustrating, but it allowed us to see right away, at least on the sidelines, during some of the time to try to fix it, or at least let the players see. I mean, you can ask the players, but I think some of those guys, I thought, did a good job of looking at it and kind of recognizing what was happening.
Other questions for Coach?
Defensively, I imagine the rushing yards are concerned because you guys defend them pretty well, or have in the past.
Yeah.
What can you do about that?
Yeah, we did, you know, we weren't good technically, we weren't good, you know, schematically. They did some stuff to us in the last game, not to keep harping on the last game because we moved on, but we have to fix some things this week fundamentally, and then as coaches we're trying to find some things that our guys can do well, and things that won't confuse them. That was the disappointing part. Like I said, it wasn't everybody on every play, but sometimes on defense, one guy, in offense, one guy screws up, it's 2nd and 10. Defense, one guy screws up, it could be a touchdown. So there's a little bit more of urgency on defense for everybody to be on the right page, doing the right things, technique-wise and assignment-wise.
How much of that is that you've got so many new starters and so many new players to begin with?
Yeah, there's more new starters, I guess, defensively, because, you know, what we had for graduation or whatever guys have left, probably a little bit more experience. So no matter what scheme we were running, we were gonna have more inexperience, at least in our offense, or excuse me, in our defense than what we had before. But, you know, we've had 4 weeks of camp, and we've had a couple weeks to get ready. So, you know, our guys can play better, we can coach them better, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't play better defensively this week.
Zachariah Poyser, he had a really good start to the game, really good first half, made a ton of plays, he really caught my eye. Was that a guy that you were expecting to have that kind of impact immediately?
Yeah, very athletic. We knew last year we signed him, he was a young guy, so this guy's got a lot of skills. He's an athletic guy. He can, you know, he's going to have a great future here. And he had a good camp, and he's active. And I think he's still, again, that was really his first extensive playing time. So I think he'll continue to get better.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Bring in Michael Petway, a receiver. Michael, you had the long touchdown late in the contest. Kind of walk us through, in your eyes, how that play unfolded and then go into the end zone.
So it looked like it was like cover 0, cover 1, outside leverage with the safety, help with that quarterback. So we just had a little kind of slant route, and really as soon as I broke, the ball was already thrown, and I just did what I could do after that.
Awesome. Questions for Michael?
You also had a couple of nice blocks in that game, and I know blocking isn't the first thing a receiver thinks about. What have you done to try to make yourself a factor in there?
I mean, I just try to just be a team player, you know, like, can't be selfish, you know. I want the ball, running backs want the ball, other receivers want the ball, but in order for us to win, you have to win as a team. So if I have to block on every play, a whole drive, then I guess that's what I have to do.
Michael, share a thought on getting the chance to go play at Louisville, play a Power 4 team this week.
Nah, it's gonna be fun. It's exciting for sure. It's just awesome. Like, I mean, it's the biggest stage of it all. So I know a lot of guys are ready to play. I know I'm ready to play. We're just excited to just get the show on the road.
What did you all take from the South Carolina game last year that might be useful, you know, playing in that kind of environment?
I mean, really just staying calm during really everything. If things go good, things go bad, you can't really let the moment get too big, and you just kind of got to stay level-headed.
What have you guys been doing to move forward from Thursday?
I mean, it's really kind of self-explanatory. We watch the film, we learn from our corrections, learn from our mistakes, and we just move on. Like Coach said, 24-hour rule. We don't sit there, we don't dwell on it. It's in the past now, it's already happened, and the best that we can do is just learn from our mistakes and be better.
Coach mentioned the technology as well, having the screens on the sideline. How much did that help you as a player to be able to visualize what your coaches were talking about?
It definitely does help out a lot more because, I mean, you get a visual of what just happened, so you can kind of go out there the next series, and if you can either expect it or you can be not expect it, but you can expect something and try to work off of that or just be better.
Thanks for your time. Oh, go ahead.
One more. Among the many things you do well, you're a good kick returner. Is that something you like to do? Did you do that in high school?
Yeah, so I did that in high school. That's probably one of my favorite things to do, but I mean, I just do really what I'm coaching. You know, sometimes coach wants to bring it out, sometimes he just doesn't, so it just is what it is.
Thanks, Michael.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Our second player here is linebacker Lalette Hale. Lalette, let's talk about the forced fumble that we had in the first quarter on Thursday. As soon as you saw the back go over the line, kind of was that just instinct to go after the football?
Before every play, I'm always thinking, you know, we gotta make certain decisions on defense and react when things happen. So when he jumped, I thought, okay, I need to fight this pressure, him jumping and not just, you know, go up and just bring him down, but try to make an impact on that ball and really try to put some force on it.
Just defense as a whole, what did y'all learn from that first game?
You know, we learned that we gotta communicate a lot, you know, on all aspects and do our job. You know, we play hard all the time, but we just gotta learn that doing our job and making plays within your job is key. You know, sometimes guys get bored of doing what they're supposed to do, and then a small mistake can lead to big things and then snowball.
Same question that Michael got. What was it like having that visual, that overhead look as a defensive player? Did it give you a little bit better advantage on those adjustments in game?
Oh yeah, it definitely did. Because you know, you get to see the numbers and everything that's going on. Also the leverage. Well, as a linebacker, you see how the line moving and things. Because you know, at times things can move fast during the game, and you could be trying to get a check and all. But when you get to see that on the sideline, it'll slow a lot of things down. You know what to expect for formation. Also, new formations that help us out during the game.
First game under the new defensive coordinator, do you guys feel like you communicated well, at least out there in the first game, or is that something you need to get better on moving forward?
Yeah, I feel like we definitely need to get better on communication at some points, but you know that's the thing. First game, some people have first game jitters, but we harping on that this week. Right. Definitely having an emphasis on that in the meeting room, you know, and on the field.
Have you simplified a little bit this week? Coach mentioned maybe y'all were trying to do too much.
We left some things. We added some things. We took some things out. So, you know, I don't think it was too. I don't think it was just too much. It's just we had to communicate more and all be on the same page. I feel like it's pretty simple, but confusion can set in when you hear some people saying the wrong thing. You know, and bullets start flying. But I think we're gonna be good this week. I feel like everybody coming with a different level of focus.
what excites you about getting the chance to go on the road and play Louisville?
Sure. I mean, what excites me is just going out there, being able to, compete and play. I don't never think too much of when we play P4 teams because I'm just used to it. I'm used to playing on those different teams, but I do know it's an opportunity. Like they're gonna see what you did during the big game, and I'm gonna try to keep our guys up and remind them of that every day because it is a big opportunity. We gotta perform.
All right, well, that's it. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you doing this.
I appreciate y'all.